welcome to Washed Rewind. It's your girl, Tiff West. I know you guys are used to seeing me on Wash's IG Live with Music Mondays. I do Music Mondays there every Monday, but now I am here taking over the YouTube channel and interviewing fans of the Wash series just to see like what their feedback is and how they feel about the series and how it's going thus far. So if you have not started watching the series, I must tell you there are going to be some spoilers in here because, we'll be discussing scenes and scenarios and all these things. So if you haven't watched it yet, there will be spoilers here. So you might as well just go ahead and go start watching it and getting on board. Let's see. So it looks like I have a lot of people here in the comments. Hello to everyone. Hello to my mod gang. I see Miss T is in here. I see Slay is in here. I see Pink Unicorn is in here. Guys, thank you so much for joining me today. So today, of course, I have my first guest who is one of my absolutely favorite people in the world. And I'm just so happy to have him here. So without further ado, let me bring up my brother from another mother, my little fake husband, Mr. Sean Davie of The Way. Hello.
Hi.
This better. I like this better.
Yeah, I like that.
Everything in the back.
Right. Because you can see everything in the back, girl. Yeah.
Everything in the back. How are you, my love?
Oh my God, I'm amazing. Thank you so much for having me on Wash. I love me some Wash. In my mind, I'm like literally Carmen. Like I'm literally Carmen. Like that.
Oh my God, Ashley would love to hear that you are literally Carmen.
I'm Carmen. That's oh my God. A little bit of Eric too. Just a little bit of Eric in there.
You got a little bit of Carmen and you got a little bit of Eric.
A little bit. Just a little mixture.
So your Eric only comes out when it has to.
When it has to.
Your Carmen comes out when it has to as well, because Carmen has some ways about her to be a little petty and a little deceitful. So
just a little bit.
And just a little bit. So just to give people in the chat that are not familiar with you, first I'll start out with how I know Sean Davie Way. So Sean and I met on YouTube, last October? Last October, we were both starting out on YouTube as green as can be, just inspired to start our own YouTube channels. And, we were on a panel together and from there formed a friendship. We've done many little panels together. Our panel is called You Can't Sit With Us. And you can find us on Sean Davie Way's channel. As you can see in the ticker below, I have all of Sean's information, all of his platforms. He is on IG, he is on YouTube, he is on Stationhead, he is on Stereo, and you can follow him on all of these platforms. Platforms, catching all the tea that he has on celebrity gossip and just any trending news. So Sean and I have been friends for a very long time. He is a fan of the show and I totally adore it. We talk about it all the time. We promote it all the time. So having him on as my first guest was just an absolute no-brainer. Of course, I'm going to have Sean as my very first guest. So Sean, what I'm going to ask before we start getting into this whole washed thing is how I want to give the people just a little bit of your commentary and just a tad bit. Now, you don't have to give me a lot, but just a little bit of your opinion on what's going on in celebrity news. Now, before we get into it, I must say the views and opinions expressed on the Wash YouTube show does not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of the guest, nor anyone in the chat. So let me get that out the way before people start going crazy. So, of course, the one thing that I would like to get into, hold on here. Just hold on 1 minute, peeps. Is how you feel about this situation here. So the whole Meg Thee Stallion and Tory Lanez situation has been a major, huge topic in hip hop news, in music news, and just in celebrity news, period. But it just came out, just a couple of hours ago, that Tory Lanez has now been charged in the Megan Thee Stallion shooting. So give us just a little bit of your opinion and how you feel about that.
Oh, absolutely. I'm glad you asked.
Oh,
hair flip. If people pay attention in this caption that the Shade Room has put up, they state that he's being charged with assault with a deadly weapon. Well,
yes, with a semi-automatic weapon.
Absolutely, and it also says that he's being charged with a concealed, unregistered weapon. But they say that he's being charged with shooting a semi-automatic weapon, and he's also being charged with a concealed weapon. Yes. So that leads me to believe that there were two guns, allegedly, for the fact that she was shot by allegedly a semi-automatic weapon, but they found a weapon that wasn't a semi-automatic, that was unregistered. And he's also being charged with that as well. So I just feel that we will find a lot of missing pieces, the missing pieces that we have been looking for. I feel that they will start to drop. So at this point in time, that's how I feel. Allegedly, Tory was tested for gunshot residue, and that was stay for at least 3 days. He was cleared of that. Obviously, she was shot. Obviously that's very true. But they described two different weapons. A semi-automatic is what shot Meg, and they found the weapon that he's actually being charged with. So he's not being charged with a semi-automatic weapon. He's being charged with carrying an unregistered weapon that's not a semi-automatic. So my question would be, where's the other gun? That's what I'm waiting to hear. So they gave a lot of tea within that without really realizing it. Hear that and be like, oh, well, the gun that they found, that he's being charged with on the 13th, is the weapon he used to shoot her, and that's not the case. He's being charged with that weapon, but it's not the one that shot her. So we're about to find a lot out. I would say that.
Absolutely. And I actually look forward to finding out all of the details and what's going on. I think we're all anticipating exactly what's going on, because you have your team Meg and you have your team Tory, and everything as far as information and facts are just like floating all around. Conspiracies are floating all around. So it will just be great when we actually get to the actual facts of everything.
Right.
And I mean, it's like the major question is, who shot Meg? All right, so those are the top of topics and commentary that you can find Sean Davie Way covering on his show on YouTube, The Sean Davie Way Show. And you can find him just by typing in Sean Davie Way Wavy, I think is at the end of your YouTube channel. Yeah, there it is, Sean Davie Way Wavy. So let's go ahead and hop right into it. How washed are you?
Well, that's a really good question. And a lot of people, when they hear the word washed, I feel like it depends on like where you've heard the word to where you would like hear that. Cause like wash, but like, some people here is like, what does that mean? And I like wash with this series, especially, it's like people that feel like they've live past their prime, or they just don't feel like how they used to feel really ambitious about life, and really wanted to just go at life, heads ablazing. They just feel like they don't feel that anymore. So it's like they're trying to find a way to get back to the times where they felt like they existed. When you feel washed, you just feel like you kind of are just there. You're not really doing the things you want to do, leading the life you want to lead. When you had a path to follow a dream, you kind of aren't on that path anymore. So you just kind of feel, like you're washed. You're just there. You don't really have a sense of direction. So when it comes to me being washed, I don't feel like I'm washed at all. I just feel like I have a lot going on.
Yes, you do.
I'm living life to the fullest. I'm trying to make the best decisions I can, and love on people while I can love on them. And some of the people that have to hate on, I'll hate on them too. But other than that, so I don't feel very washed yet. I feel that soon, maybe. You never know. But as of now, I just feel like I'm living. Living to be here. Not living because I'm breathing, living because I'm doing the things that I want to do. So I don't feel there yet. I can relate to them because I feel that I've had washed moments, but I don't feel that I'm just like washed in general. You know, like, yeah, I don't feel that.
Well, let me tell y'all something. Sean should definitely not feel washed because Sean is still enjoying his 20s. He is still enjoying his youth.
Oh my goodness. Forever 21.
You are still enjoying your 20s. You're still enjoying your youth. Me, on the other hand, I am well within the 30-year-old range. So when I tell you, I actually started feeling washed maybe around the age of 34, 35. Because that's when I'm like, oh, I'm on the upper end of 30 heading towards 40. But when I tell you, I think I am like the most washed person you could probably ever meet. Everybody's like, oh my gosh, you look so young. And oh my gosh, you're doing this and you're doing that. No, what you don't know is that what I do is I go to work. I come home. The first thing I do when I get home, clothes off. Bucky naked, running around the house, cleaning up, and then I get in bed. I am usually in bed around at least a good 8 or 9 o'clock.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
That's like when nightlife starts.
Yeah.
Like I look forward to coming home and to getting in bed and to turn it on Netflix. Like that is how washed I am. And I am actually proud of being washed. I love being washed. If I go to all my friends know one thing I do not like, I'll go to a bar and I'll go to a lounge, but a club, I hate going to clubs. They're loud and they're obnoxious. I can't hear anything. It's too loud in here. I don't understand what's going on. Drinks are $20, $30, which when I was in my 20s, I didn't mind paying. And I have to think back at when I was in my 20s, like, where did I get $20 and $30 to pay for drinks? But then again, I was young and I was a little young Thundercat, so I wasn't paying for drinks then. Drinks. So it's actually kind of funny that I ask you that question because, again, you are still enjoying your youth. You're still in your prime. And when I come home, what I am doing is following Sean on his many platforms that he is in. So shout out to Couch. He is in the comments, the creator, the guru, the everything of Watch. So you guys, whenever you see him, please give him a shout out and tell him how great I am. Absolutely. And tell him how Sean and I deserve to be on his next project, whatever it is.
We just need to be there.
We just want to be there, just in the midst.
Absolutely. We want to be one of the cool kids.
We are the cool kids.
Yeah, I want to hang out with Carmen.
We are the cool kids. So anywho, Sean gave a perfect, pretty much summarization of what Washed is all about. It's about a 30-year-old guy by the name of Mark who is basically turning 30. His 30th birthday is right around the corner, and he's feeling washed. He is feeling like he is just mundane in his life, living with his girlfriend. They're doing mundane things, and he wants to get back to his youth. However, in doing so, he's meeting obstacles, and he is picking up things that he just can't handle, or that just basically take him on a different turn and a different path in life that he didn't plan on going. Grass isn't always greener, basically, is how I would like to say it. So Sean, tell me, because I know you have already watched season 1. So tell me about how you're feeling about Washed season 1 and how you could relate to it in any type of way.
I will definitely say I like how, when it starts, how, it's this couple, it's like it's, not too anything I like out of the ordinary, living a day-to-day life, and it's not like they weren't happy, so it's like, that's what I was looking for. I was looking for okay, well, where's the unhappiness? Where's the, where's the push, to make him, feel like something's missing, You know, because usually at that point you're thinking like, you know, like marriage or children, you know, or something like that when you're getting closer to, you know, 30, you know, especially. But for him to feel like, you know, it's not that, it's more so of like the adventure. You know, like I just want to feel a thrill, you know, again. It's just everything's just so boring, you know. So it's just like I want to feel life again, you know, to see that correlate into season 2, you know, especially with everybody evolving and how the journeys that they started off on is like they're completely on different journeys now. And the people that, you know, necessarily didn't mesh that mesh now, you know, because I don't really want to get too much away, but you know, because people say I want to ruin it.
You can, because I already gave a disclaimer. If you have not watched the series, we are going to do nothing but spoil it for you. There are spoilers in here. There are moments in here. So you can feel free to express yourself in any kind of way. You can feel free to express yourself by giving specific examples, because if they're not on board yet, once they leave here, they will be.
They will be. So like Amber, for instance, you know, like with her, you know, being like a comedian, you know, and things in that nature. I just thought that was a really cool, like, you know, unravel. Because I always thought she was funny. I'm like, oh, well, I could totally see like her doing that. You know, so when she did, I was all for it. I'm like, yes, honey. You know, so I'm just like, you better do it, girl.
Exactly.
So inspired me because I hear a lot of people telling me that, you know, I should do stand-up. So when I seen her do it, you know, and whatnot, I was just like, you know, like that kind of inspired me, you know, a little bit, you know. So it's like, shout out to Amber, that's my girl, you know, her and Carmen, they're my girls, you know. And I love me some Carmen. I love that you never really know what you're gonna get from her. You like, you want to like her, but it's like you don't. It's like you want, like, that's how I feel about it. It's like I love her, but I hate her. You know, like at the same time.
Yes,
so, you know,
that character you can definitely love to hate, because she's just like, oh my gosh, she is that bitch. Point blank, period. She is just that bitch. She is the one that has it all. She's the one that has it all together. She's the one that has the career, but doesn't have the man.
Right. So and you kind of want her to get a man, but you don't.
Right.
So it's like
remain that petty ass female. And you know, once we get a man, that's when we start to like soften up a little bit.
Period. So I'm just like, okay, now I want you to get a man because you might be, it might like soften you, but you kind of hardened already. You know, you might want to be mean just to be mean, girl. Like, I'm just like, oh, okay, I'm watching you, and I like you, and I like your outfit. So now I'm gonna let you live.
Outfits, season 1, season 2, slamming. So shout out to Ashley Lee. I mean, a beautiful, beautiful lady. I mean, brought absolute life to this character. Like she tries to tease me and tell me that I was the inspiration for Carmen and her attitude, which possibly, maybe, I don't know. But her flip, I'll take it.
Me too. So, and you know, I love Tiffany. I'm just like, oh my God, look at Tiffany. Who is this? Oh my gosh, she looks so familiar. You look amazing. I'm just like, I can't believe that I was like there while she was like, oh my God, like I was so happy. Like when I saw it, I was like, oh my God, look at her, look at my baby. Yeah, I was super excited for you. Season 1 and 2. Like I liked you season 1, but season 2, you just have this really like this glow about you, you know, like it just seemed like this confidence, like you were way more confident season 2, I feel.
Oh my gosh, I was sweating bullets. Do you hear me? First of all, let me tell you how this started out. So of course, I know Ashley Lee, who is not only an actress but a writer on the show. I showed up to be an extra. I actually went to Dallas. I was supposed to actually be going to see a boy, Tatiana. I was going to see a dude. Those things got canceled. Ashley was like, well, come to Dallas anyway, be an extra on the show. So I'm thinking I'm going to be an extra. And I ended up with a couple of lines. And I'm like, okay, what's going on here? No big deal, whatever. Show up next time she goes, and Jared hands me a script and says, hey, this person didn't show up. I need you to be ready to do this scene in like 20 or 30 minutes. And me, I'm like, okay, you know, why not? And then he's like, well, what do you want your character's name to be? And I'm like, I don't know, Tiffany, because of me so much. So then they're thus born Tiffany. But yes, so going back to you, basically being dark. What, I can't even get my words together. It just reminds me of You Can't Sit With Us. But anyway, basically going back to you saying that you are kind of like Amber, and you kind of feel like you're taking that role that Amber took because you're inspired to be a comedian. How do you feel about the relationship with her and Maya in season 2, where Maya is like, so seriously, like, this is what you want to do? And not necessarily being that supportive.
Mm-hmm. I think that I don't think that it came necessarily from a bad place. I think it's just being a comedian and things like that. It's hard. It's not an easy thing, to get into. So, it's just like, you really want to go from, 'cause that's kind of, and then you can kind of take it too, for just like, are you looking down upon like what she's about to do? Because it's still like a career, it's still something good. There's way worse things she could be doing, so it's just like there was no support, because it was still like a distaste. But it could be when you're concerned about somebody and they're making a decision and you're kind of fearful for them. So it's just kind of like, you sure like that's what you want to do? So it's like I took it like that too. But now, I feel like there's a little bit more support. I would like to see her be a little bit more supportive than she has been, not just like noticing that she can do it and then like all of a sudden just being like, oh, well, since you're like real support, not being at the show and just be like, oh, okay, I guess they like you, so kudos to you, so I would like to see a little bit more support, but she's better than she was in season 1, at least. Because season 1, there was no support. It was just like, okay, I got you, friend. I'll be there. I guess,
With you being a YouTube content creator and doing all these other platforms, do you ever feel like you have had a friend like Maya in season 2 who hasn't necessarily been that supportive of the adventure that you have wanted to? Oh Lord, I look like I'm proud of something. And you know what? Now that I have asked that question out loud, I probably shouldn't have, knowing what I know. It's like,
you want to open up that can of worms?
You know the answer to that question. But for those who are outside of our circle, if you could explain to them if you have ever run into somebody that was not that supportive of your dream of becoming a content creator.
Absolutely. We call her Voldemort. So we're just gonna leave it at Voldemort. And I had a Voldemort in my life, that definitely knew that I had talent and knew that I would succeed, but felt that they wanted to hinder that if it didn't follow their plan. So if you don't succeed in the way I want you to, which means I want you to be successful, I just don't want you to be more successful than me, so I'm going to hinder, that process to where I'm not going to support you in how I could and how I should, based off of, I don't want to watch the relevancy, because if I'm there, I'm seeing it, so I'm not supporting it because, oh, there's people there, but that real, support is when they're there, through the whole journey with you, and not just like re-entering, at times. Like re-entering a journey and being in a journey is two different things to me. The whole time and coming in during the good times and things like that, it's different, or leaving during the bad times, so yeah, absolutely. I've definitely had people like that in my life that just could have been way more supportive of a situation, whether they liked it or not, and just chose not to be, just because of their own feelings. So yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I was actually a witness to that entire situation. So again, there are friends like that. I think we all have a friend that is just not 100% supportive as much as you would want them to be. But that's okay, because look at where you are now. It's like she tried to stop your shine and absolutely failed. An absolute epic fail.
Absolutely.
So we are into 5 episodes, season 2. We are now at a place where Amber is trying to get on at the club. She has bombed. And we are at a place where Mark is back at work under Carmen, and Carmen's boss is giving her absolute hell about Mark. But Carmen, with her petty self, and of course, with the help of her petty friend Tiffany, come up with a plan to devise to get back at Mark for him trying to come at her the way that he did. What are your predictions for episode 206?
So what I'm thinking is I don't think that their plan is going to go through. And the reason why I don't think their plan is going to go through is because I feel that more people in this, one's more sold on doing it than the other. That's how I feel.
Okay.
I think that there's going to be some type of distraction. I don't know what, like I'm trying to put my finger on it, but I just don't feel that they're going to all the way go through with it. I think it's just going to be something that just spins this whole story around like something that we're not expecting, you know, because if it's going, because like one, I really don't want it to go how it's about to go. So I'm rewriting the script. I'm rewriting it.
All the writers that are here and present, as you can see, Sean has decided to write the script.
I'm rewriting it.
For episode 206.
Yes. Because I feel like, you know, they have to be a little bit easier on him.
Right.
Like, oh my goodness. And because you already know Smoke. I cannot with Smoke.
I love Smoke. Let's start there. I absolutely love Smoke. I love
villains. You like the villains?
I'm always there for the villain. I don't know why. I am always there for the villain.
Ruining Eric's life.
I love the villain. Anybody that's in the chat right now, if you have already started watching season 1, season 2, go ahead and drop your favorite character in the chat. I'm sorry, Sean. Go ahead.
No, you're good. No, he's ruining Eric's life.
So Smoke is ruining Eric's life.
Eric was a good person.
Made the choice to be in this profession.
No, now see, look now. Because he don't have this many options, all right? So he's just trying to...
Didn't Eric go to school just like Mark did?
Yes.
Okay. So he had the same opportunities. He just chose a different path.
Wait, he's just going through a lot, and I don't like it. I feel like he should go through. He can't catch a break. I'm like, okay, now we know what he's doing is illegal. So I mean, we can't just be like in full support, you know. Right. But still at the same time, I'm all for the dope boy in the movie. I like dope boys. I like them.
Dope boy, and when Pink Unicorn agrees with you, she is all for Eric.
Yeah, I like Eric. And I want something good to happen to him. I want him to get out of this, but Smoke isn't helping.
So if Eric gets out the game, what is he going to
do? Hopefully, I mean, I don't necessarily know yet. I mean, he's not too fond of the education that he wouldn't got, obviously, because he's in the streets. You know, so it's just like, okay, we get it. You know, but still at the same time, he was feeling washed. Oh my goodness. So he had to do something about feeling washed. Like, oh my God. Like, I just feel like he deserves a break.
So he deserves a break. Okay, so what about Maya and Mark? Do Maya and Mark get back together?
I want them to, but at the same time, I feel like they would introduce other characters. Like if they don't get back together, so it's like a possibility for like, you know, like us or like me to get, you know, a role, you know, as you know, me coming on there as a love interest because I'm an actor, so I can do the whole straight thing. I can do it. Oh my goodness! So I feel like it will open up the road for people like me to come on the show. But no, like in hindsight, of course, I would want them to get back together. But I like when people like separate because it brings new characters. You know, like, oh, what if this relationship? Especially like when you bring a new character in that the people like. So like if he gets a new girlfriend, if it's a likable girlfriend, it's gonna be hard for people to like hate her. You know, if he's like good for her, and then it makes it even more of a wonder. Like, oh, will they ever get back together? I mean, because you know we kind of like this girl. You know, but at the same time, we want them back together. Like they got to get back together, you know. But so we kind of like her. And then like, what if she get with a boy that we kind of like, you know? So then we want them to get back together, but then at the same time, so it's just a possibility for so many things,
Absolutely.
So,
well, we've already introduced a new character per se in the tall, dark, and handsome Trent, who is already, basically pining for her attention, and they're in the club, and he has this poem, an ode to Maya. Of course, Amber is just not having it. She's like, so how many names have you inserted in the poem? Which actually took me out. I died laughing at that scene. So we've already introduced this new tall, dark, and handsome guy that's here to, kind of shake the table and kind of make Mark jealous. So it'll be, interesting to see how that ends up, as if I don't know, but I'm not telling
you. I'm not gonna lie, Trent seems a little sketchy.
You have to watch it, yeah.
He seems a little sketchy, so I got my eye on him. I'm like, okay, you too handsome. I'm like, it's something going on with him. Look, we got to figure this out. So, but still at the same time, he just never. So I'm very interested to see what he brings to the table. But so at the same time, we got our eye on him. So it's just like
watching you,
Trent.
Watching you
like a hawk,
because he means no good.
No. So we are watching you
whatsoever.
We are watching you, but no, I'm excited. I'm excited to see what he brings to the table. It's going to be new dialogue. It's going to, open up some conversation, because now everybody's going to be, talking about him. And, then we get to see like what he's about. Like, is he really single, or is he seeing somebody? I'm excited.
Is he married?
Right. I'm excited.
Life out there, because these days.
Well, I was looking at his hands. I'm like, where's the ring? Is there a ring?
Tan line. These days you can't look for just a ring. Now you got tan lines and all kinds of stuff. It's crazy out here in these streets. I don't like belonging to the streets. The streets is crazy, let me tell you. So anywho, that's it. We can cover that on, You Can't Sit With Us. We won't cover that here.
Gotcha.
So Sean, thank you so much for coming on and giving us your opinions and your views on the Watch series, season 1, season 2. If you guys can see down in the streaming banner below, Washed season 1 and season 2, you can stream now on the Washed website, which is www.washedseries.com, and on Amazon Prime. A lot of people have Amazon Prime. All you have to do is go into that search bar and hit #Washed, and it pops right up so that you can start streaming and watching along with us. Every Monday, I am on the Washed IG channel doing Music Mondays, where I am interviewing the artists and the creators behind our Washed Season 2 soundtrack. Every Thursday, I will be here on the Washed YouTube channel talking to fans like the Sean Davie Way Show about how they feel and what their feedback is regarding both series. So thank you guys so much for joining us. Thank you to Sean Davie Way for joining us. Make sure you go like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell on his YouTube. I'm sure a majority of you in here anyway already are subscribed. Follow him on Station Head and follow him on Stereo. It's such a good time. And Shanati, if you are here in the chat, hey girl. So shout out to Shanati as well. So again, thank you guys for joining us, and I will see you back here next Thursday at 8 p.m. Sean, I'll see you in a few.
I'll see you.
All right. Bye.